I'm so excited to make this video. Hello, it's Kennedy. Today we are diving into the difference between naturopathic medical school and undergrad. I'm actually so excited for this one. I think it's gonna be so good. So here we go. The main difference is gonna be the expectation for how you think, the way you critically think, and a want to be an expert. Because in physicianship, you're dealing with people's bodies, you're dealing with how they operate, how they function as human beings. And that's a very, very important task, and you need to be careful with it. So when you're in school, you are literally sharpening yourself to be an expert. You are refining your knowledge. You are taking the time out to learn research and case studies, and you're going to conferences. This is definitely a lot more dedicated than your undergrad experience. Undergrad is, if you're doing those things in undergrad, you are going above and beyond. You are being the star student, right? But in medical school, you are being the standard, right? So they're upping how you look at cases because everybody's different, right? Because we deal with people. People are different. And so our bodies respond differently. And so we have to know, okay, if this doesn't work for this person, will it work for this person? Or what won't work for this group of people versus maybe better for this group of people? Or how do I evaluate the diagnostic information? And basically what that is the information that you get from stats. So when you get different blood testing done, when you get MRIs, those are diagnostic tests, right? So that's your fact sheet. So when you look at your fact sheet, are you able to take that information, those thyroid levels, those hormone levels, are you able to take all that information and with everything else that the patient has going on and really figure out what kind of treatment would be best for them? That's a big task, right? So medical school requires you got to do more, right? You have to care more. You have to be dedicated. You really have to be dedicated to this field, and you have to be dedicated to the extra work. You have to be dedicated to all the work that comes with it because it's a lot of work.
Get your fucking ass up and work.
You are going to have to work harder. The title that you get, let's be honest, the title that you get is so prestigious. That's why you work harder. Because you have to study, you have to up your knowledge, you got to critically think, you got to step outside yourself, that takes a lot of work. And that goes a lot into my character piece. And if you haven't seen those videos, I'm gonna put something right here so you can go and check those out if you want. But knowing who you are, developing who you are as a character, refining your skills, being able to up your knowledge, up your game is what makes you that professional. And so medical school requires you to be an expert in your field. Higher expectations, even higher learning. You know how undergrad is considered higher learning? This is high learning.
High learning, for sure.
You are going to spend more time now studying. There is a balance that you can create. You can do this. This is doable. We're doing it, right? I'm doing it. Some of you guys are starting to do it. Some of you guys are applying so that you can do it. You're gonna do it. But it's a dance, right? It's a dance of personal life. It's a dance of family life. Your personal, just within your home, within yourself. Then you have your extensions, which is your family and your friends, right? That's your support, and you need that. You need that support. Then you also have your actual school life, and your school life is your sacrifice. And that actually brings me to my next point. So the next big thing is your workload. And the thing about workload is it doesn't stop, and it's heavy. This is 26 credit hours if you're full time. So that means that The workload is insane. Just imagine how it was when we had 18 credits in undergrad. Like, it was like, I'm really keeping up. Imagine what it is now, you know, with almost double that, 26, you know? So you have to spend more time if you want to be successful, if you want to be an expert, if you really want to do it and do it right, and sharpen your skills and be the best, then you have to be able to take on that workload. And I will say the balance with that is life doesn't stop. And, you know, we have family things going on, we have personal things going on, and you have to balance all of that in the middle of your workload. Some things get sacrificed. I used to like to go to Starbucks. I don't even have time to take the trip to Starbucks. I mean, I can take the trips to Starbucks, but I'm sacrificing. So it's like I make my coffee at home and I bring it to school. We have to sacrifice. You have essays more so when you get up into the higher tries, like 4 through 10. Your essay based, your critical thinking based, and that's where you're making or breaking. That's where we're seeing, did you really retain all the stuff that you gathered in your first to third try when you were doing your anatomy? Once you finish those 3 anatomy classes, then you move on to your 4th try, where now you're more critical thinking based. It's more essays. It's more looking at cases. Right now we're feeling the whole physician piece, right? Now we're like, okay, now she's doing it. Now she's getting into the, this is what I came for, right? This is the part that we came for. But that workload, for sure, that first to third is sick. It's absolutely insane. And then our school specifically, you have to go to a cadaver lab. So that means that you're dealing with dead bodies. So it's even more real. It's even more real. So on top of you learning it in a lecture, you have to be able to understand it and see it and digest it in a lab with the cadavers. And you're being tested in that lecture class on just the knowledge information. And then you're also being tested in the practical class, the lab class, with like the physical information of, do you know, and like you're looking at nerves and brain muscles and all these things, and eyes and skin and teeth. Your third major difference is going to be the management that you have to create between your personal life and your school life. You're still going to have bills. I'll pay my bills, keep paying my telephone bills, keep paying my automobile. And if you choose to live on campus at my university, you have to pay your electricity bills. In undergrad, if you lived in the dorms, then everything was paid for. You know what I mean? So now you have the responsibility of that bill. And honestly, now, because I mean, you're in a different space when you're in undergrad versus when you transition into medical school. I want to mention that mental health is so important. Seriously. This workload, the time that you have to spend, the sacrifices that you make, the management of everything in and out of the classroom, it is a lot. It is a lot. You need a support system. You're my girl, we're your girls. Won't you know that we love you? You need to be able to have that mental agility in order to take the ups and downs, because you're gonna have bad tests. You're gonna have times where you don't even feel like you're cut out for this. You guys have seen my times where I feel like I'm not cut out for this. I mean, it's so much. There's so many things that will try to knock you down, and you have to be able to, as my grandma would say, pick your panties up and keep it pushing. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving. You go from kind of a more sheltered environment, right, where you can make more mistakes, and you had a little bit more leeway, and you leaned on your parents, and you could use those resources, you know. Now you're grown, and you have to be consistent with your responsibilities. You have more responsibilities. You have even more intense responsibilities, and you have to take things a lot more seriously. So it's really stepping into your physicianship, stepping into that adultness, stepping into being able to critically think and being able to balance. It's like everything that you reflect in your personal life reflects in your school life. I know the best of the best are the people that understand that dance. Steve Harvey, one of the best in my opinion, but I feel like he creates that balance. He knows how to balance, and that's so important for when you're evolving as a physician, when you're evolving as a person. You're definitely going to be required to manage yourself differently and be willing and open and be responsible with this whole new life that you're creating. It's a whole new life, a whole new level of expectation, a whole new level. And I say this very bluntly because I want you to know the facts. This is not to scare you. Again, this is to prepare you so that you can be ready. You can be encouraged and you can say, okay, I know what I'm up against. It's not like you're going into the lion's den and you don't know. Okay, so I can prepare myself. I don't have to be bigger than the lion. I have to be smarter than the lion. So that's what we're working on, being smarter than our lions. There's a quote, and I don't know it specifically, but I think you guys will know it if I say it. It goes, fear is not that you're inadequate. The fear is that you're better beyond measure. And what that means is, like, believe it or not, you don't fear that you can't do it. It's sick. It's like, that's what we think. We fear, oh, I can't do it. No, you fear that you can actually really do this, and that would be the wildest thing to you. That, like, you would scare yourself with your excellence, with what you achieve. You'd be like, whoa, you would turn into your higher self, your superpower. You would turn into your version of a superhero. And for all of us, in our subconscious, that is hard for us to grasp because we lack that self-love sometimes, where we don't think that we're good enough for it. We don't think that we can do it. So, I mean, why us? We've been through so much. We have trauma. Like, what makes us so? I mean, I'm going to try, but do I believe, you know? So you have to believe in these things, and you have to believe that you can do all these things, because you can. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video showing you major differences between undergrad and medical school. And I want you to use this information and really write down what your goals are and how these challenges can affect you, and really start thinking of your contingency plans and how you're going to navigate that, right? Because you're watching this video because you're applying to school. So do that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. To do.